Released on September 4th, Silksong took the indie industry by storm. Fans flooded every store in order to get their hands on Silksong, to the point where they would crash, including me. Hello, this is Freddy Actioner, and today I will be explaining how Silksong changed my life for the better. Before we begin, I would like to thank our sponsor, Mighty Minds. Are your kids failing school? Are they not learning on their level? Have no fear, for Mighty Minds is here. With Mighty Minds, kids can learn at their own pace, and with one-on-one tutoring, learning has never been easier. For more information, click the link below, and save 15% off your first month with code FREDDY in the shop. With that out of the way, let's begin. I still remember as if it were yesterday, hopping on the game, singing the title Silksong, and pressing play. Suddenly, I was immersed into the game, as if playing Hollow Knight for the first time again. Through Moss Grotto, then to the Marrow, until suddenly I was fighting the final boss of the game. Every bit of it was amazing, but I couldn't help but have this feeling in the back of my mind throughout my playthrough. As a kid, I was raised in a very strict household. We were known as the Mormon family, and that was every bit of the truth. The nostalgia is already flooding through my mind. No food Wednesday, sacred Saturday, and Mormon Monday. Those were the days. As I was playing Silksong, I couldn't help but be reminded of these past days, and that's what really brought the game together. I lost my father to the cartel, unfortunately. It was a horrible experience, and as I was playing through Silksong, there was one area in particular that reminded me of that trauma, Hunter's March. As I progressed through the game, more things became apparent. Bottle of water reminded me of the day my sister drowned in a pool of acid. Sinner's Road, the beatings I would get whenever I would eat on Wednesdays. It was as if the game was trying to communicate to me. That's when it suddenly hit me. When I unlocked the full map of Farloom, I recognized something. Farloom was the shape of Mexico. And where did my father get executed by the cartel? Mexico. It broke me when I figured this out. I had to stop playing the game for a few weeks. Within that time, I was able to reconcile with myself once again. I wasn't going to be a racist. Finally, I started the game back up again. I played through the game until I eventually stumbled through Act 3 of the game. Once more, I was caught in a flurry of past traumas. The enemies were wearing blackface, but I ignored it. All the way up until I reached Hunter's March once again. They were all black. Even if Team Cherry was founded in Mexico, this was too far, even for the big indie company that they were. Suddenly, as if divine intervention had reached me, I had a voice speak to me. It was Jeffrey Epstein. He was speaking to me. Why me? Why was I the chosen one? So many questions came flooding in, but before I had time to think about them, the voice spoke louder. Freddy, you must be racist. Freddy, listen to me. It is okay to be racist. I froze. I was stunned. That voice repeated in my head. It's okay to be racist. It's okay to be racist. It's okay to be racist. Finally, I spoke in loud excitement. It's okay to be racist. I felt free. As if being released from years in prison, the chains that once were binded to me finally broke off. The voice spoke once more. There was no list. There was no list. There was no list. Hours later, it finally stopped. Silksong had changed my life. More realization came flooding in. Hunter's March was O-Block, Hornet was a torta, and so much more. Now, enough about me. Let's talk about the secret update that made Silksong woke for only a few minutes. On September 11th, there was a secret beta update that released on PS5 for only a few minutes. I was the only one lucky enough to actually receive the update, and what I saw shocked me. Mount Faye was called Mount Gay, Deep Docks was called Dick Cox, Far Fields was called Vietnam. So many things changed. I looked online to see what other people were saying, but I found nothing. Suddenly, when I looked back at my TV, the game was closed, and when I opened it back up, the changes were reverted. That's when I knew I had to speak up about something, but then I remembered. The characters are the characters, but the story is the story, and that's when it hit me. Silksong was never woke, but I was. I was the little gay boy, and Silksong had nothing to do with that, and so my story ends. But I was... but in a good way. I was racist, and I was gay. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for listening.